the show. Tonight, I'm talking football. Week 16 in the NFL is in the books. We got the playoffs coming up quick. I got my recap tonight for you, so go ahead, put your headphones on and relax. Alright, how's everybody doing tonight? Tonight's bubbly flavor, bubbly flavor is cherry. On the tab it says, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. On the side of the can it says, these sips don't lie. Alright, I feel like I just nailed that intro. Alright, the final week of the regular season. Next week, and we still have some things to be decided for the playoffs. And a pretty crazy week 16 we had. From the Christmas Day Alvin Kamara show that he put on to the day after Christmas, the wild finish between the Dolphins and the Raiders. Tom Brady's first half performance against the Lions, that was like an entire game of stats. The San Francisco 49ers potentially spoiling the Arizona Cardinals playoff bid. And then on Sunday, the Jets going back to back. They're going back to back wins. With a win over the Browns. A depleted Browns team, but still. And then the comeback from Pittsburgh, Atlanta playing Kansas City tough, and Chicago's offense continues to ball out. A lot going on, not to mention Aaron Rodgers MVP bid, and man, him and Devontae Adams, that's a lethal combination, isn't it? And the Monday night game, the Buffalo Bills, Stephon Diggs bringing home the fantasy football championship for me. I will be going over my fantasy football season in another video, so I might do that one tomorrow. But let's get into this week's recap, okay? The New York Jets defeated the Cleveland Browns 23-16 on Sunday. The Browns did not have a wide receiver to throw it to. They were all their top 4 wide receivers were on the COVID list, so they didn't have anybody to throw to. I think they had a last game for Frank Gore. I don't think he's coming back next season. We'll see, though. Crowder also had 7 receptions for 92 yards and a touchdown. The New York Jets improved to 2-13, and the Browns fall to 10-5. And their playoff hopes are in limbo. They got to take care of business this week against Pittsburgh if they want to make sure they get in the playoffs. But they could not run the ball at all. 45 yards rushing for the whole game, 45 yards. Couldn't move it. I think the Jets were really selling out on the run to stop the run because they didn't have any wide receivers to throw it to. So wild. We thought that the Browns had that win for sure. I did, but that's why they played the game. So now the Jets for sure will not have the first pick. Jacksonville's got the first pick for sure, and they'll probably be taking Trevor Lawrence. The Carolina Panthers defeated the Washington football team 20-13. For the Panthers, Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Two Gloves, Teddy Two Gloves, Teddy Two Gloves. He was 19 of 28 for 197 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for a QBR of 52.9 and a rating of 85. Curtis Samuel carried the rock 7 times for 52 yards. He also had 5 receptions for 106 yards. For the Washington football team, Dwayne Haskins was 14 of 28 for 154 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, for a QBR of 4.1 and a rating of 36.9. Ouch. Heineke came in, and he was 12 of 19 for 137 yards and a touchdown. No interceptions for a QBR of 48.1 and a rating of 102.3. Dwayne Haskins has since been released from the Washington football team. Not a good rookie season for the young man there. We'll see if another team takes a chance on him. I think they probably will, but I think somebody will probably take a chance on him, but I don't know, maybe not. Antonio Gibson carried the rock 10 times for 61 yards. J.D. McKissick had 8 receptions for 77 yards and a touchdown. So Washington falls to 6-9. Carolina improves to 5-10. Washington's still in the driver's seat to win that division if they win. I think, right? If they win, they're in. The Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Atlanta Falcons 17-14. I did not get to see this game. I was surprised that it was so close. For Atlanta, Matt Ryan was 27 of 35 for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, for a QBR of 82.4 and a rating of 121.1. Smith carried the rock 10 times for 46 yards. Calvin Ridley had 5 receptions for 130 yards. For the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes was 24 of 44 for 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for a QBR of 68.2 and a rating of 79.5. Williams carried the rock 10 times for 46 yards. Travis Kelce had 7 receptions for 98 yards and a touchdown. Kansas City improves to 14-1. Atlanta falls to 4-11. Kansas City has the number 1 seed locked up, first round bye in the playoffs, and home field advantage. The Pittsburgh Steelers came from behind and defeated the Indianapolis Colts 28-24. Pittsburgh finally bouncing back after losing 3 straight. For the Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger was 34 of 49 for 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, for a QBR of 61.6 and a rating of 109.4. James Conner carried the rock 5 times for 20 yards and a touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster had 9 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown. For the Indianapolis Colts, Phillip Rivers was 22 of 35 for 270 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for a QBR of 55.5 and a rating of 84.2. Jonathan Taylor carried the rock 18 times for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pascal Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they're gonna get in. They're gonna get in, but I don't know. I don't know how far they're gonna go. They've looked really bad the last 4 weeks. They did come from behind this week and beat a good Colts team, a good Colts defense, for sure. But we'll see. They can't run the ball at all. It doesn't seem like they can run the ball at all, and they only, as a team, they rushed the ball yesterday for only 20 yards. That's it, 20 yards rushing. That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough to win in the playoffs. If you can't run the ball at all like that, 20 yards, not gonna get it done. So we'll see what happens. The Chicago Bears. Chicago playing well lately. Mitchell Trubisky playing better. Their offense putting up points. Their offense is putting up a lot of points the last 4 weeks. I think they put up over 30 points every week the last 4 weeks. So the Chicago Bears defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars 41-17. I know it is against Jacksonville, but still 41 points. Mitchell Trubisky was 24 of 35 for 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for a QBR of 81.2 and a rating of 97.9. David Montgomery carried the rock 23 times for 95 yards and a touchdown. Robinson had 10 receptions for 103 yards. A good day for him. Jimmy Graham had 4 receptions for 69 yards and 2 touchdowns. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, Glennon was 24 of 37 for 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for a QBR of 54.4 and a rating of 75.4. I don't know how to say this. Ogunbowale. He carried the rock 14 times for 71 yards. DJ Chark had 4 receptions for 62 yards and a touchdown. The Bears now have put themselves in a position where if they win, they are in next week. So, with the Cardinals loss on Saturday to the Niners, Chicago's in position. So, I mean, hats off to that. I did not see that coming, especially earlier in the season when they were playing. When Nick Foles was starting, I think he went 2-5 as a starter. I did not think that the Bears were going to be in the playoffs, and also, at that point, the Cardinals were playing pretty good ball at that point as well. So the Cardinals declined. The Bears, trending upwards. It's a good time. It's a good time to be hot. That's for sure. The Baltimore Ravens defeated the New York Giants 27-13. Game that Baltimore had to have. Lamar Jackson was 17 of 26 for 183 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, for a QBR of 89.3 and a rating of 111.5. Gus Edwards carried the rock 15 times for 85 yards. Mark Andrews had 6 receptions for 76 yards. For the Giants, Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, back in the starting lineup this week. 24 of 41 for 252 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions for a QBR of 44.2 and a rating of 84.6. Wayne Gallman carried the rock 6 times for 27 yards. Sterling Shepard had 9 receptions for 77 yards and a touchdown. Baltimore improves to 10-5. The Giants fall to 5-10. The Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Houston Texans 37-31. Thank you, Cincy. Miami now has a guaranteed top 5 pick, because they have Houston's first round pick. So for the Bengals, Allen was 29 of 37 for 371 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions for a QBR of 86.3 and a rating of 126.5. Perrine carried the rock 13 times for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. T. Higgins had 6 receptions for 99 yards and a touchdown. For the Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson was 24 of 33 for 324 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions for a QBR of 70.2 and a rating of 133.9. Johnson carried the rock 12 times for 128 yards and a touchdown. Big day from him. Brandon Cooks had 7 receptions for 141 yards and a touchdown. Big game from him, but it doesn't matter. Houston falls to 4-11. Cincinnati improves to 4-10-1. In another game that doesn't matter, doesn't have any playoff implications, the Los Angeles Chargers defeated the Denver Broncos 19-16. Justin Herbert for the Chargers was 21 of 33 for 253 yards and a touchdown. A QBR of 58.6 and a rating of 97.2. In all likelihood, the Rookie of the Year, I think, probably going to go to Justin Herbert. Austin Eckler carried the rock 10 times for 45 yards. Mike Williams had 4 receptions for 54 yards. For the Denver Broncos, Drew Lock was 24 of 47 for 264 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, for a QBR of 42.2 and a rating of 50.3. Melvin Gordon carried the rock 16 times for 79 yards. Hamilton had 5 receptions for 77 yards. Moving on here, the Dallas Cowboys defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 37-17. For the Cowboys, Andy Dalton was 22 of 30 for 377 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception for a QBR of 86.2 and a rating of 134.7. Ezekiel Elliott carried the rock 19 times. Ezekiel Elliott carried the rock 19 times for 105 yards. Michael Gallup had 6 receptions for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. Amari Cooper also had 4 receptions for 121 yards. For Philly, Jalen Hurts was 21 of 39 for 342 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions for a QBR of 18.6 and a rating of 70.7. He also carried the rock 9 times for 69 yards. Deshaun Jackson had 1 reception for 81 yards and a touchdown. It was good to see Deshaun Jackson out there again. Still has that deep threat speed, doesn't he? Only 1 catch, but went for 81 yards into the house. But not enough there for Philly. Philly officially eliminated from the playoffs. Dallas improves to 6-9. Philly falls to 4-10-1. We'll see what happens with their quarterback situation next year. Carson Wentz has a huge contract. Jalen Hurts, the last couple games, they kind of like, I think, the spark that he provides. I don't know. We'll see if they want to try to develop him or stick with Carson. It's gonna be a difficult situation to maneuver, I think, for Philadelphia. We'll see what happens. All right, moving on here. We got 3 more games. In a big game, big implications in this game, the Seattle Seahawks defeated the Los Angeles Rams 20-9. For Seattle, Russell Wilson was 20 of 32 for 225 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions for a QBR of 62.2 and a rating of 93.9. Chris Carson carried the rock 16 times for 69 yards. DK Metcalf had 6 receptions for 59 yards. For the Los Angeles Rams, Jared Goff was 24 of 43 for 234 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception for a QBR of 50.6 and a rating of 61.6. Henderson carried the rock 12 times for 62 yards. Cooper Kupp had 8 receptions for 66 yards. Look, earlier in the season, I was not sure that Seattle was gonna be there at all. The Cardinals were playing well, the Rams were playing well. Now the Rams seem to be kind of falling apart. They lost to the Jets last week, lost to the Seahawks this week, and Seattle's defense has really stepped up lately. It's a good time to be peaking. So it's a really good time to be peaking in the NFL as we head into the playoffs. Jamal Adams said that their defense was like the best in the league. All right, let's chill out with that a little bit, but they are playing a lot better, and like I said, a good time to be peaking for sure. Seattle improves to 11-4, and the Rams fall to 9-6. Jared Goff broke his thumb. They're gonna have to go with the backup this week. see what happens. Like I said, I don't think I would like to play Seattle right now. The Green Bay Packers defeated the Tennessee Titans 40-14. Speaking of teams that I don't want to play right now, Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, my goodness. For the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers was 21 of 25 for 234 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, for a QBR of 90.7 and a rating of 128.1. Insane year for Aaron Rodgers, my MVP. Aaron Rodgers gets my vote for MVP. Dylan carried the rock 21 times for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones added 10 carries for 94 yards of his own. Devontae Adams have a night. Devontae Adams had 11 receptions for 142 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ballin', I think, potentially my favorite player in the league right now, Devontae Adams. Absolute baller. For the Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill was 11 of 24 for 121 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions for a QBR of 85.2 and a rating of 40.5. Derrick Henry carried the rock 23 times for 98 yards. Ryan Tannehill had a nice 45-yard touchdown scamper, so he's got 3 carries for 55 yards and a touchdown as well. A.J. Brown had 4 receptions for 43 yards. Tough loss for the Titans. We'll see. They're going to have to bounce back next week. They fall to 10-5, and the Green Bay Packers improved to 12-3, and they can seal up the number 1 seed in a first-round playoff bye with a win next week. The Monday night game. The Buffalo Bills dominated the New England Patriots 38-3. Josh Allen was 27 of 36 for 320 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, for a QBR of 97.3 and a rating of 138.7. Having a great season. Zach Moss carried the rock 12 times for 57 yards and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 9 receptions for 145 yards and 3 touchdowns, bringing home the fantasy football championship for my squad. Thank you, Stephon Diggs. For the New England Patriots, Cam Newton started the game, and he went 5 of 10 for 34 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, for a QBR 47.6 and a rating of 57.9. They did end up bringing Jarrett Stidham in the third quarter. He went 4 of 11 for 44 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, for a QBR of 3.7 and a rating of 49.1. Sony Michel carried the rock 10 times for 69 yards. Jacoby Myers had 4 receptions for 45 yards. The Patriots just really, outmatched, outclassed, outplayed in this game. They don't have the players. They don't have the playmakers. Cam Newton's the one that got into the end zone, 4 carries for 24 yards for a touchdown. But New England looking rough. It's funny to see. It's odd to see, isn't it? After what they've been for the last 20 years. So the mighty have officially fallen, and the Bills look good. The Bills look. I think it's between the Chiefs and the Bills in the AFC, honestly. And man, Josh Allen, he can sling it, can he? Stephon Diggs, what a pickup for them. Huge pickup for them. Buffalo improves to 12-3. New England falls to 6-9. And Buffalo looks ready for the playoffs. this is just like the regular college, Wilson college, like football. I don't know. I don't know anything more than that. So I remember when they came out with these, when they started making them like with the black laces. I was in high school actually, and this is what we played with when I was in high school. So this is just kind of like what I've always used. subscribe.